This is the video lesson for section 7.2, similar polygons, geometry. The objective here is to identify and apply similar polygons. So two polygons are similar polygons if corresponding angles are congruent and if the lengths of the corresponding sides are proportional. So you can see here in this picture we have a polygon, quadrilateral, and another polygon, and they have their corresponding angles are congruent. So here we have corresponding angles. They are all congruent. And then the lengths of the corresponding sides are proportional. So here we have our congruent congruent angles, and then that would mean AB divided by GH, or this should be an H. So you should fix that on your notes too. This is an H. GH have the same scale factor, or they're in proportion to BCHI, and then CDIJ, and then ADGJ. And then whatever that, whenever you divide those, they should be all the same, and that is called the scale factor. So let's look at this first problem. It says that two triangles are similar, and this is how we denote similar, just this one little squiggly line. This means they're similar. So these two triangles are similar. What are the pairs of congruent angles? So again, this works just like congruent polygons, where M and S are going to be corresponding. So angle M is going to be congruent to angle S, and then N is congruent to angle R, and then angle P is congruent to angle T. And then what is the extended proportion for ratios of corresponding sides? Again, and this might actually make more sense if we draw the triangles. M and P and S, R, T, and you can actually see the sides here. MN divided by SR is going to be equal to NP divided by RT, which is going to be equal to MP divided by ST. Okay. So let's look at this next problem too. The question asks, are these two polygons similar? So in order for these polygons to be similar, they have to have corresponding angles that are congruent. And in this case, we have K and V, they are congruent. And then L and V are, oh, is that a V? That's a U. That's a V. L and V are congruent. And then J and T are congruent, and then M and W are congruent. So all the angles, corresponding angles are congruent. And then we just have to test that the corresponding sides are in proportion. So we can see here, this one is 24 and this one is 24, but this one is 14 and this is 16. So in order for them to be in proportion, these would have to be the same proportion. 24 divided by 14 would have to be the same as 24 divided by 16. But obviously, that is not true. So they are not similar. So the answer here is no. Sides are not, corresponding sides are not in proportion. Okay, so here is another one, and why don't you guys try this one on your own. Press pause and see if you can figure out if these two triangles are similar. Push pause and then check back for the solution. Okay, hopefully you found that they were similar. There are three pairs of congruent angles, and then when you check the corresponding sides, they all have a scale factor of, they all have a ratio of 4.4 divided by 5, which is their scale factor. So let's move on to problem 3. Here it's telling you that these two quadrilaterals are similar, so what's the value of x? So let's look here. We have two quadrilaterals. This we're looking for the value of x and y. So these two sides, this is 9 and this is 6. So 6 over y, let's do this one first. 6 over y is going to be equal to 9 over 5 here, right? 6 over y divided by 9 over 5. So we can solve for y here. So this is 30 equals 9y. And if we divide both sides by 9, y equals 30 divided by 9. 3 1/3. 3.33. Okay, and then, or we could write 10 over 3. And then for x, we can do x over 7.5 equals 6 over 9. So then we can cross multiply. So 9x equals 6 times 7.5 is 45. So divide that by 9, and x equals 5. So x is 5, and y is 3.333. And that looks like it makes sense, right? If this is, and it's just good to check these and make sure it makes sense. This would be 5, and this is 3.33, and that looks like about right? That goes down by a little, that goes down by a little. Okay. So that is your lesson for 7.2. There's your homework.